Comics. I'm Joe Getcho, and this is SpideyJoe's One Shots. Today I'll be covering issues 1 through 5 of Marvel's Black Cat in a collection called Grand Theft Marvel by Jed MacKay, who's also written for Moon Knight, Amazing Spider-Man, Magic the Gathering, and wrote The Death of Doctor Strange and his replacement, the Sorceress Supreme. While there are many Marvel and DC characters that are based on each other, Marvel's Black Cat is really nothing like DC's Catwoman. In 1979, while writing for Spider-Woman, Marv Wolfman wanted to create a villain version of the Spider-Woman character. He decided to base her on a Tex Avery cartoon called Bad Luck Blackie, in which a black cat brought misfortune to anyone in close proximity. The character design was created by legendary comic book artist Dave Cockrum. However, before the character's debut, Wolfman left Spider-Woman and transferred over to writing The Amazing Spider-Man, so Black Cat's first appearance ended up in issue 194 of The Amazing Spider-Man as an antagonist, eventually becoming a lover and anti-heroine. But unlike his other romantic interests, Black Cat was only attracted to Spider-Man and didn't have much interest in Peter Parker, so it just couldn't last. Black Cat's secret identity, Felicia Hardy, is trained in various fighting styles and acrobatics, is an expert thief, and eventually gains the subconscious ability to affect probability fields, which she uses to give her enemies bad luck. Look out, true believers. This is one Black Cat you do not want to cross your path. Black Cat is back in her first ever ongoing solo series after being beat up by the superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, seeking revenge on Peter Parker for what happened and having her secret identity ousted to the public. Despite all of this, Felicia Hardy still has a taste for the finer things in life and a certain set of skills that can get her into any mansion, vault, or museum to procure said finer things. She's not only on the run from police, but also from the New York Thieves Guild and their boss, Odessa Drake, who Felicia purposefully messed up a big haul for the guild. Felicia infiltrates a party where Odessa Drake is there and steals a painting, only to escape with the help of her accomplices, self-taught genius Dr. Boris Corpse, that's Corpse with a K, because, why not, and ex-Army pilot and heavyweight champion Bruno Granger. Shortly after the getaway, the Black Fox, another Spider-Man villain who appeared in issue number 255, who trained Felicia in everything she knows about robbing and looting, sneaks into her hideout to offer her a job to infiltrate none other than Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum and steal the original deed to the island of Manhattan. Unfortunately, things go sideways when a crazy magic homeless guy they brought along to help disarm traps finds something called the Starstone and proclaims himself Xander the Merciless, who first appeared in 1976 as an evil sorcerer who was summoned to go up against Doctor Strange. Bummer. With the booby traps activated in the Sanctum, Black Cat formulates a plan to use those defenses against Xander, which unfortunately doesn't work because he's just too powerful. Whereas other characters may have survived using dumb luck, Black Cat uses her bad luck powers to make Xander's spells ineffective and punches him square in the nose. Crack! They separate him from the Starstone and leave him for Doctor Strange to find when he gets home. Oh boy. But it doesn't stop there. That was the warm-up round. Black Fox wants to infiltrate the Thieves Guild and crack their vaults. To do this, Felicia charms her way inside the Fantastic Four's pad, through Johnny Storm, of course, to steal a book called The Papers of Phineas Randall. Normally, Felicia would never steal from the Fantastic Four because of two reasons. One, Susan Storm Richards, because you don't steal from her family. And two, because craziness doesn't just follow the FF around, it makes house calls. And it certainly does in this story, because an alien conqueror known as Blastar escapes the negative zone and causes a ruckus, and it takes the coordinated efforts of the group and ramming him with the Fantastic Car to send him back to the negative zone. Of course, then Sue Storm comes home, and she is not happy, and you thought infiltrating the Sanctum Sanctorum sounded dangerous. That's where this book ends, but the story is picked up in Volume 2, On the Run, which collects issues 6 through 10 and concludes in Volume 3, which collects Black Cat 11 through 12 and Black Cat Annual number 1 in 2019. Unfortunately, after its first year, the comic book series went on hiatus and then came back with a new number 1 in 2020 and recently concluded in November 2021. As an introduction to the storyline and the first solo series for Black Cat, I have to rate this as a 3.5 out of 5 bananas. While I really enjoyed the careless capers of the captivating Black Cat, I can't help but think that she starts off a little too grand. I mean, come on, the Sanctum Sanctorum. I guess you can say that Xander took care of all the magic stuff, but still, it seems like a lot for a first job in a solo series. And then stealing from the FF. And now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the hijinks and the banter, especially between her team and her pursuers. And I do like how we just jump right in without going to her backstory or how she's connected to Spider-Man. But for any new fans out there, I don't know if this has anything in it that would give you pause as to her being just another cat burglar. See what I did there? Pause. Anywho, as a Spider-Man fan, I enjoyed it, and I recommend it to anyone who would like to read more about her solo adventures and see what she's been up to. But if you're not familiar with her character or you haven't even heard of her, there are probably better places to start. And that's a wrap. Don't forget to check out our podcast, We Like Comics Because They Have No Bones, on anchor.fm/Boneless Comics Podcast, our website, bonelesscomicspodcast at wordpress.com, and our YouTube channel, tinyurl.com/Boneless Comics Podcast. That's URL, not EARL. You know, Earl? Okay. Give us a like, subscribe to us, and send us comments with your thoughts on our podcast. You can also find us on social media at Boneless Comics Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and at Boneless Comics 1 on Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you later.